It's really not every day that you hear an apology from a CEO, but United Airlines did just that as passengers by the thousands have been left stranded due to delays and cancellations. However, you're not going to believe why he's sorry. We're going to talk about that later, guys. Now, I'm also sure that Hunter Biden is feeling very regretful for being so invested in taking photos while doing, how do I say this as respectfully as I can? While he was doing stuff that wasn't so legal. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Why, you may ask? Well, new photos have come out from his infamous laptop, and one of them is of him supposedly smoking a pipe while driving in a residential neighborhood. Now, there's another one of him going way beyond the speed limit, and he even took a photo of the car's dashboard. Does this show that he's above the law? Or he's just been lucky when it comes to law enforcement? You guys can answer that in the comment section down below. Former President Donald Trump pulled in a crowd so huge that it dwarfed the number of actual people who lived in the town that he showed up in. Anheuser-Busch, the brewing company behind Bud Light, denies the rumored layoff of two of their top marketing executives and said that they're simply on leave. The company hasn't been profitable given the backlash that they've received for their controversial commercial decisions. And Senator Marco Rubio expressed a lot of concern over the deep state in their views on elected officials, as well as why we should not ignore the UFO whistleblowers that have come out. Let's not waste a second here. Let's get right into the updates, guys. So former President Donald Trump is still beloved by loyal supporters as he drew a massive crowd recently in a South Carolina town called Pickens. More than 50,000 supporters were in attendance to show their appreciation of the former president. And comparing that to their residents of only $3,400, it's pretty easy to see how massive this crowd was. Former Trump aide Taylor Budowich said that no other candidate can build up this much enthusiasm. He also added, quote, "The Supreme Court decisions ending racist college admissions, protecting religious liberty, and stopping an illegal student loan forgiveness scheme were a reminder of how President Trump kept the promises that he made to voters." Mind you, the tens of thousands of patriots that turned out in Pickens, South Carolina, did it on a day with temperatures over 90 degrees. The Trump train had left the station and is not stopping until President Trump is seated behind the resolute desk, end quote. Wow. And as much as this seems like very positive news for Trump, one still has to have the question at the back of their minds, like, what happens if he's found guilty in one of the many charges that he's facing? They're gonna have to present credible evidence before that happens, I guess. And since we're talking about evidence, a website that's been put up by a nonprofit firm has given us a peek into the life of one of Hunter Biden's. I didn't check all the photos and the files that were on there because, believe me, there were thousands of them, but a few did happen to catch my attention and a lot of people. Now, one photo showed the first son going 172 miles an hour in a Porsche with a warning on the dashboard showing reduced speed. Another one showed him driving through a residential area with what some are saying was a crack pipe. Now, critics and supporters are torn on this one. Some are saying that Hunter was just going through a very troubled time, while others are saying that, if they did the same thing as the first son, they would probably be under the jail now. So what do you guys think? Now, if you ask me, it would be particularly hard to find employment if any of us had photos like these showing up on the internet. Now, speaking of employment, Anheuser-Busch executives are outright denying that they had to fire two of their top marketing executives, two people who were responsible for the campaign that has hit Bud Light very hard, in fact, for millions upon millions of dollars. Now, according to the company, the two are merely on leave of absence due to the backlash that Bud Light has received as of late. Now, the brand has recently seen a huge drop. I mean, just in June, they saw their sales dropped by almost 27%. So the question lingers, were they actually fired, or is this the company just trying to save face at this point? Now, on that note, United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby apologized to passengers who were left stranded due to delays and cancellations. Meanwhile, he took a private jet to take off close to where the aforementioned delays and cancellations were happening. So here's what he had to say about it. Quote, "Taking a private jet was the wrong decision because it was insensitive to our customers who were waiting to get home. I sincerely apologize to our customers and our team members who have been working around the clock for several days, often through severe weather, to take care of our customers," end quote. I mean, he still took off in a private jet, probably by himself. Anyway, so he also took aim at the FAA and said that the FAA has failed their customers time and time again. Yeah, let's go ahead and push blame somewhere else, right? Now, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see if they try and do anything to make up for these people's problems, or if Pete Buttigieg will make an appearance using his own jet as well. But what do you guys think? Now, since we're already up in the air, let's talk about Senator Marco Rubio and his thoughts on UFOs and the deep state. So Rubio, in an unaired interview, he talked about the danger of this alleged UFO program and said, quote, In essence, some sort of an internal military complex that's their own government and is accountable to no one. It would be a huge problem if it's even partially true, end quote. Now, he also said something that gave me goosebumps. He says that the deep state may actually exist and they seem to hold a footing that goes even beyond the White House. So here's what he said about it. If that is accurate, what you're basically saying is that within the government of the United States, there's a group of people who believe they possess something that they don't need to share with anybody, including elected officials who they view as temporary employees, end quote. Wow. Now, this would practically mean that there are those who are pulling the strings behind the scenes. I think we all know what's really going on here. We don't know who they are, but as always, as I do with all my theories, I want you guys to share your thoughts with me and let me know what you think about what's going on with this whole deep state situation. It feels as if the odds are stacked against us, huh? As if we can't really do anything to change how we live. That no matter how hard we try, the system will eventually take over. But if you were driven enough, you'd probably realize the good news that's waiting for many investors at this time. Downturns don't happen often, and when they do, there are winners and there are losers. Winners build up their cash flow, and you can do that through side hustles, small businesses, home-based businesses, generating multiple streams of income. Winners also make wise investments as they see fit. It could be in the stock market, the real estate market, even gold and silver. Now, this is the best time to march toward financial freedom, and I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. If you guys want to learn more about this, definitely hit me up in the comment section down below. But before I go, guys, please drop a quick thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe to the channel for your daily dose of the truth. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.